Head-to-head for the final time, but who has the mental edge before the fighting starts? Hello there. The fight for the WBC World Heavyweight title is simply the biggest show on earth this weekend. We hope you'll be able to enjoy with us a night of action like you've never seen before. Bruno against Tyson, the star attraction, but there is so much more. Barry McGuigan and Nicky Piper are here to make judgments once they've examined the case for and against Bruno and Tyson. Our big fight team are in Las Vegas. This is the scene now, live at the MGM Grand Garden, the venue for our big event this weekend. Wonderful warm sunshine outside and inside, final preparations to an arena which seats up to 16,000 people, and every seat has been sold ahead of this big fight extravaganza, many of them to British fight fans rooting for a Bruno victory. We'll talk to Ian Darke shortly as we look ahead to Bruno against Tyson from every angle. Will Tyson reclaim the world title, or can Bruno retain his crown far from home?
Oh boy, you have to kill me to do that night, man. You left me murdered. I'm feeling that.
And I am ready to live. And you found me scared to be honest. I must be, and I have to be, and I'm ready to cook.
Bruno united a nation, beating Oliver McCall. His fans believe he'll do it again. Look at that round two, got everybody on it. Round two. Tyson's comeback so far hasn't convinced every expert, and the debate is raging on.
I think that's the far to Bruno, but I certainly give him a very good chance. That seems to be the point better than the sentiment. Oh, absolutely.
Others will plead Bruno's case. Frank Warren believes Bruno will create British sports history. If all else fails, Frank has other skills he can still call on.
Well, this is where it's all going to happen tomorrow. The MGM Grand Garden, it holds 16,000 fans. It's absolutely deserted at the moment, save the workmen who are setting up the ring. But it'll be crammed with fans tomorrow, nearly half of them from Britain. And those British fans have already produced some amazing scenes at the weigh-in last night.
First introducing the challenger from Catskill, New York. Here's the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, undisputedly recognized as the #1 contender, introducing Iron Mike Tyson.
10 years since he first became world heavyweight champion as a 20-year-old. Tyson bidding to join the select band who've regained the richest prize in sport, the World Heavyweight Championship.
£220 for Mike Tyson.
15 stone, 10 pounds. That's 2 pounds more than he was for the first fight in 1989. He'll be giving a lot of weight away.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the defending champion from London, England. He is Britain's favorite son and the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Frank Bruno. Bruno.
17 stone, 9 pounds. That's 1 stone and 5 pounds more than he weighed in 1989. So a whacking difference between the two fighters of around 2 stones. And just looking at that picture, you can see Bruno is a much bigger man. More so than in 1989.
Now, that was an emotion-charged weigh-in by any standards. It's a little more calm right now at the MGM Grand Garden as the final fight preparations continue, and our big fight team, Glenn McCrory and Ian Darke, have had a night to sleep on what they saw. And Ian, maybe you'll now give us the benefit of your reflections on... It seems a quite extraordinary series of events there.
It really was. I've never seen a weigh-in like that in all the 16 years I've been covering professional boxing. It really was like Wembley Stadium there, and you just wonder what is going to happen when this fight happens in the arena here, when all the British fans are there. About 2,000 locked out last night. I mean, Glenn, they're going to take the lid off the place, aren't they, here?
I don't know if my side is ever going to hear anything like this again. It's going to be wonderful. We had a few of them there. When it's jam-packed out, it's going to be wonderful.
There was one punter, I can tell you, who went away after that weigh-in and put $10,000 on Frank Bruno to win by knockout, and the odds on that have gone in from 10 to 1 to 7 to 1, so the money is piling on Bruno, but he's 2 stones heavier, 2 stones slower, or 2 stones stronger, Glenn.
And it wasn't either put the money on, was it?
It was not, no.
I think he's going to eat a stone stronger. He's a big man. He looked absolutely fantastic at the weigh-in. He looked very, very strong. But I think the mental attitude he has is the best. And he wore the shades. He didn't want Tyson to have any advantage whatsoever. And I think he's really confident.
It's extraordinary, really. There was one woman who's here who's never been as far as... well, the furthest she's been is Brighton, and she lives in Battersea. Now she's in Las Vegas. I mean, everybody's having a great time. There are more British accents here than American, but of course they can't get into the ring with Frank, can they?
No, I think he's big enough to handle himself in there. He's been there before, remember. He knows what to expect. He's got a great crowd behind him. I think he's just going to go out there and enjoy himself. It's going to be a tough fight, but I'm sure he can do it.
I think really the thing here is we know what Frank Bruno we're going to get here. He's probably at his peak, even as late as 34. All the questions are about Tyson.
That's right. And the Americans, although they're writing Bruno off, they're still not 100% sure about Tyson. There's still doubts whether he's got the mental attitude, whether he's got the physical skills. So, I mean, we've all got to see that. Me, myself, I doubt it.
Big buzz of excitement building up here. I can tell you that even the rock star, George Michael, wants to see this fight. He rang the MGM at 6 o'clock in the morning, would you believe, asking for a ticket.
Yeah, I believe you. Everybody wants to see this fight. Barry and Nicky Piper with us in the studio. What do you make of what you saw at the weigh-in there, Barry?
It doesn't surprise me. No surprises, especially with the weight. It's basically what we assumed it was going to be. Tyson looked a little bit apprehensive. Looked a little bit overawed by the support that Bruno had with him, which obviously is going to be playing on his mind. However, I think it would be very silly of us to overlook what he's done in the past, Tyson, and that's really what we've got to play with today. We can contemplate and come up with all sorts of conjectures, but really, we know so little about what Tyson has proved in his comeback that we really have to revert back to what he's done in the past.
How did he look to you?
He looked to me to be apprehensive. His eyes, look at his eyes were dancing when he was on the scales, which suggests that he's a little bit apprehensive, but a little bit overawed with the support that Bruno has, and that will obviously be playing on his mind, which is obviously a good little psychological edge that Bruno has.
Now, Nick, your thoughts about this weigh-in scene?
Well, firstly, as Barry said, the weight's no surprise. You knew that Bruno would be more like 2 stone heavier. But you have to look at the faces on the boxers. Now, yes, Frank Bruno is far more confident. He's bigger than last time. He's the world champion. He's not intimidated. But I think the most important thing is that Tyson was intimidated. Tyson did look a little frightened. And I think that will actually be in his favour. I think when he boxed Bruno last time, he was starting the slippery slope down. He was, where they say drink and women and drugs, etc. Drugs maybe, I don't know. But I think this time he'd be really determined. He knows he has to really win this fight. He will be trying his hardest. Obviously, he has to win this fight.
Weigh-in completed. The tail of the tape is like this for the big one then. Bruno with a 5-year advantage, 34 to 29, and of course active during the interim as Tyson spent the time in jail. 4 inches in height, the big weight advantage that we've been talking about, and a quite significant reach advantage for a heavyweight.
Yeah, 9 inches is 9 inches is obviously a big difference, but you're talking 4 years or 5 years of an advantage in age, maybe a disadvantage.
Well, that's fine.
The one thing about Bruno is that he's been keeping himself training. He may be 35 numerically, but 34 numerically, but really he's extremely young in that he's always kept himself cardiovascularly fit, trained very hard, and he looks magnificent. So I think he's matured rather than age.
We've got so much to get through on this show, but I hope we're whetting your appetite. If you'd like more information about our coverage, once again, the number to call 0990 10 20 30. Lots to come. We hope to be joined shortly by Don King, so we'll try and extend the program by an hour or two. When we come back, we'll get inside the minds of the two fighters. Ian Dart met Bruno earlier this week for an extended chat to reveal his state of mind ahead of the biggest fight he has ever been involved in.
hook or crook, I'm going to win, and I'm going to knock him out, you know what I mean? I've been away for too long. I've waited about 16 years to get in this position where I am, you know what I mean? And boy, he'll have to kill me to beat me that night, man. He'll have to murder me, I'm telling you.
The long-awaited rematch between world champion Frank Bruno and the legendary Mike Tyson.
I've been working 16 years for this.
And Sky Television will be there.
Mike Tyson looks good on my TV.
This is going to be great.
I'm going to be my judge.
A fight to make British sporting history.
It's England versus America.
Live from Las Vegas in the early hours of Sunday morning.
There's no way to beat me. No way. No way. No way.
Sky subscribers can see the big fight live.
I'm a different person. I'm a champion for one, Mr. Dart, when you get a championship status, which I had. Like Ron gave me the opportunity to fight for it when I went with him, you know what I mean? I thanked him. I could never thank him a million times for giving me that opportunity. John King for giving me that opportunity. I'm just a new man, you know, different person, well-balanced, focused, hungry, know where I'm going. I'm older, and I haven't got much time, so that makes me a dangerous man.
Do you think that you've established a psychological edge over Mike Tyson that wasn't perhaps there in the last fight?
I think every way round, you know, like, not being funny, Ian, if you look at the realistic, look at the chemistry of everything what goes on. If a man's been in prison for 3 years, and he's been at the ring if you say he's been at the ring for 4 years, yeah, out of them 4 years, he's been in prison for 3 years. If anybody's been in prison, if anybody knows prison, if anybody, you know what I mean, even been in a prison cell, you know what I mean, for 3 years being locked up in the room, it's got to be affecting your mind, it's got to affect your body, the food, the ingredients, the starch, what you have in the prison, don't do nobody no good. I don't give a monkey. Tyson ain't Superman. He had 2 fights with Superman, really, Buster Matthews Jr. He's in them 2 fights, he ain't done no more than 10 minutes. He hasn't really been in with the hard punches like me, so I'm getting to Mike Tyson, couldn't get him at a better time, and I feel very, very confident about it. But the experts, the so-called experts, are denying that and taking that away from me and not giving me my respect that I've due.
Now, I know you're not going to tell me what it is, but are you going in here with a definite strategy to beat Tyson?
I've got so many different strategies to deal with the Tyson that I can't really tell you, you know what I mean? Because when I get in there, I'm just going to freak, you know what I mean? Like, you go to a disco, or you go to a club, or you catch someone, you're going to interview someone, hey, are you going to say, oh, yes, I'm going to sit like this, and I'm going to ask him? When you go in there, you take it as it comes, you know what I mean? And I'm prepared. If it's war, it's war. If it's boxing, it's boxing. I'm prepared for whatever, you know what I mean? I'm conditioning my mind for whatever. It's going to get dark in there. It's going to be, I think it's going to be Sunday, it's going to be rain, it's going to be thunderstorm, but I'm prepared. I've conditioned myself. I've been away from home for 9 weeks Saturday, so I'm prepared for whatever he want to come with, you know?
And is that your aim, to be the man that puts Mike Tyson into retirement?
Very, very much so, and I think he wants to be sent into retirement because he's not happy with what's going on around him at the moment, Mr. Dart, you know? The people around him is bad for the game, you know what I mean? He's not right people for the game. And definitely send him into retirement to Las Vegas until he's paroled finished, and he can go into wherever he wants to go, New York or whatever.
And finally, for all the fans who will be watching this, just tell us what you think is going to happen on Saturday night.
Hook or crook, I'm going to win, and I'm going to knock him out, you know what I mean? I've been away for too long. I've waited about 16 years to get in this position where I am, you know what I mean? And boy, he'll have to kill me to beat me that night, man. He'll have to murder me, I'm telling you. He'll have to kill me.
That was Ian earlier in the week with Frank Bruno. Ian's now going to rejoin us live. He's moved outside from the interior of the MGM Grand Garden, and he's got the man at the centre of this multi-million-dollar business right beside him, Don King.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Yes, boiling hot here. Hope it's like this tomorrow. Now, Don, first of all, let's check out the big news story that's going on today. There's a court case going on in New Jersey. The Lennox Lewis people are trying to block this fight. Can they do that?
No, they can't. I think that they've always tried, but they do have a friendly court. In fact, they go to this is their personal court that they go to every time something comes up to try to block something. I don't know what the decision of the decree will be, but I think this fight will go on as planned. A sensational, exciting fight with Frank Bruno, and I think I'm going to dedicate this fight to Rupert Murdoch and Sam Chisholm. Up and away in the sky we go. So call now. Call now. You can't afford to miss this event. Call now. Is it affordable price? Is it affordable pleasure? Is that a pleasure that you can't afford to miss? Call now. Sky TV is the only place to be if you watch TV.
It's going to be a great fight here.
Thanks for the free plug, John. Let's have a quick word about Tyson, because you're pretty close to the camp. What have you made of his demeanour in the build-up to this fight? I mean, we can't get into the training sessions after 4 rounds. He doesn't talk much. What kind of mood is Mike Tyson in, and what kind of Mike Tyson can we expect to see out there?
You'll see him tomorrow night, March 16th, live in living color from the Oasis in the desert, the MGM Grand Hotel. He will talk this with Bruno, the Brit, the man who was so popular that he went to Trafalgar Square, and all 100,000 people, 100,000 Brits came, and then the pigeons of Trafalgar, they began to go up and they put a crown over him, a halo, you know, paying homage to the king. But now, you're going to see him when he goes into that ring tomorrow representing Britain, and they got a t-shirt here say, give the Yankees spank, and over Sky TV. It's not going to happen. But you're going to see a great fight card, a great show, and you got to check it out with Sky. So call now, get your fingers on that dial, and get Sky right away so you can get in on this great happening that's going to take place on tomorrow night. Oh, boy, I'm so excited, Ian, I can hardly wait. Mike Tyson's been biting nails. He's evil, he's hostile, he's angry. Bruno said he's going to knock him into my left. He's measuring the velocity of his punches to see how much of it do with the equation to get to my left. He's sitting me a bit pushing so he won't hurt me too much. When Tyson falls to my left, he said, rock my baby, on the 3 up. When Bruno hits you, it will all drop. You know what I mean? But this ain't going to happen. You're going to find out that Tyson is going to be the same mean Tyson he's always been. In England, he loves you. He said he can't help it if he has to knock Bruno out. It's just one of those things. But he's going to come to England, and he's going to defend his crown on Sky. Don't forget it now.
As you can see, John is underselling the fight as usual. Thanks a lot, John.
This is great, Ian. This is great. Up and away. He's got arms. We're going to make it happen. There's no place like Sky TV.
I think we'll turn the volume down and just leave it at that. Now, in case you didn't quite get the message there, John suggested that you call this number for more on the big fight. Bruno Tyson.
The Rocket Art Gallery, Old Burlington Street in London, and home to an exhibition of heavyweight portraits by Sandor Zanassi. The man who has brought the artist to the fore is promoted.
Well, here on the busy Las Vegas Strip, you could be forgiven for thinking that Saturday's big fight is between Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson. Frank Bruno might be a big star back home. Not here he isn't.
Frank Bruno, never heard of him. Tyson's the man. There's no doubt about it. And everything goes through Tyson. And Frank Bruno, no, I don't think he means much of anything other than the 10-to-1 underdog or 8-to-1 underdog, wherever the figures are right now.
The average American has this vague notion that, oh yeah, Frank Bruno, he's the best British heavyweight. Doesn't he lose all the time?
Wait a minute. Isn't Frank Bruno the heavyweight champion here? Isn't Tyson the challenger? You'd never guess. As King goes through his Tyson sales pitch, Bruno wouldn't mind a little more respect.
I don't give a monkey's what the American journalists want to think of me, you know what I mean? I've got my respect. I'm on history, 100 years. Last Sunday, Bob Fitzsimmons won the heavyweight champion in Nevada, 100 years. I've made history in the ring. So whether the Americans, whether the British press want to give me respect, I'm not really fussy. I'm not an egotistic so-and-so. So if they want to give me respect, it's entirely up to them.
Meanwhile, Mike Tyson is locked in his £2 million mansion, a largely unloved figure. You get the impression Americans wouldn't exactly be heartbroken if he lost.
Bruno's stronger than Tyson. He's going to do it. Tyson's nothing. He's lunch meat.
I wish they put Tyson back in jail. Does that count?
These are scenes from Tyson's only public sparring session so far. He looked poor, though the camp keep telling us that really he's been in sparkling form.
I wouldn't believe anything coming out of the Tyson camp. That's usually the way I cover him. I ignore almost everything I see. And even when I see him in the ring during fights, I'm not sure of what I've seen either, because the level of opposition has been so dreadful.
Despite all the doubts surrounding Tyson Mark II, few American writers are in much doubt about the outcome on Saturday.
Tyson stops Bruno 1 minute and 43 seconds of the 5th round. Bruno does, it's going to be a replay of 1989 again. Bruno will land a couple of shots, stand back, look at it. Tyson will come in, a couple body shots, and an uppercut, and it'll be stopped. He won't knock him out, but it will be stopped.
But amid all the Bruno detractors, promoter Frank Warren is flying the British flag.
Frank is very focused on this. He's very mentally up for it. And people compare the last fight and this fight. And the difference between the last fight and this fight is Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. He proved Mike Tyson can be knocked out. And Frank Bruno has, don't matter what anybody says, has improved as a fighter. He's got more stamina now. He's managed to hold on, work inside, which you never see him do in the past. And he's been working on his hand speed this time around. And I believe that a lot of Americans are going to be shocked.
So many millions are invested in Tyson winning and going on to unify the heavyweight championship all over again. But is the reputation blinding us to the reality of a fading talent? We'll know for sure on Saturday.
This fight is...
The only Mike Tyson.
Gets through with a left hook and a right uppercut. Tyson and McNeely is down for the second time. Tyson suddenly breaks into top gear and he's knocked out. Mathis is knocked out.
Last two pieces of action, Barry, were from the comeback. In America was split in August last year as Mike Tyson walked to the ring for his comeback. 5 years earlier, he'd lost his world heavyweight crowns to Buster Douglas. Then he lost his freedom when he went to jail. We all wanted to find out how Tyson would fight, if he'd lost the skills that made him one of the greatest heavyweights ever, or if he still had that ferocious appetite for boxing. 85 seconds against Peter McNeely didn't tell us much.
Gets through with a left hook and a right uppercut. Tyson and McNeely is down for the second time. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect.
3 months later, he was all set to take on Buster Mathis Jr., but at short notice, the fight was cancelled, Tyson pleading a broken thumb.
I broke my thumb earlier. I was going to try to continue to go through with the situation. I broke it again. And yes, the doctor said it's not worth it. The manager said it's not worth it. You know, the real fact, I could have perhaps, I don't know, I perhaps could afford them back, you know what I mean? Because my thumb was never really totally healed when I fought Mathis anyway, but I couldn't take letting anyone know and to cancel it again. I needed to have that fight.
Whatever his state of fitness, Tyson at least looked effective in finishing Mathis.
Mathis is on top of him all the time. Oh, that's another good shot from Tyson, who's beginning to find the punches now like that one. It was the right hand that has Mathis down in round 3. Can he get up? Tyson suddenly breaks into top gear, and he's knocked out. Mathis is knocked out.
Despite his victory, he was criticized for missing Mathis with so many of his punches.
Well, he's a short man. Those guys are always difficult to hit when they're evasive like that. I just know it'd be a matter of time. Well, you know, there's 2 different styles of fighting. This guy's a crotcher, low, he's aggressive. And if Bruno was to happen to fight that way, he's right in front of me. He's a tremendously massive man. He's difficult for him to be missed. So I don't believe it's going to be as difficult to hit him as it was the other guy.
That may be so, but the other big question is whether Bruno can connect first. Tyson knows about Frank's power.
I guess he hit me with a left hook. It's not that he hurt me, he just hit me with a hard punch. And I just got caught with it.
God bless you.
You feel pain, but you know, the pain is insignificant. More so than the actual goal. Your goal is, you know, to forget that and just continue for the cause. The cause is to win.
They were all smiles the next day, but Tyson remembers that Bruno's attempts to fight rough had taken a toll.
The next day, my head, back, my neck, and everything was in so much pain. And I felt it during the fight, but it didn't bother me. As long as he was hitting me in the back of the neck, I didn't care, you know, because that's all he was doing. But just the fact, the next day, man, it was a tremendous pain.
Now he's been warned, he says he has no problems with anything Bruno may produce.
I never complain about anything like that. We're in a fight, you know what I mean? What I'm going to do, get mad? We're already in a fight.
Don King has been planning ahead as usual. He says this is the first part of Tyson's bid to become undisputed champion of the world once more.
You're not going to just go in there and walk over the guy. I mean, I don't underestimate him. But I'm just sure I could beat him. I said, I must beat him. I have to beat him. I have no other choice but to beat him.
There's been talk that Tyson has been erratic in sparring, but there are still signs that Bruno faces an awesome punching machine.
I just don't see him lasting with me. I'll be in just tremendous shape. I'll be in tremendous focus, and I'm going to just be throwing punches with bad intentions. I'm a ferocious fighter. I mean, it's vicious and ferocious. I don't know. It's just I thrive off that. You know, I mean, during fight, the tenacity, the viciousness, the ferociousness in a fighter, and it's just the way that I grew up as a fighter. Those was main ingredients in a fighter. Whole makeup, the ferociousness, the viciousness. And when I explain the ferociousness and the viciousness, people just think it's some mad dog, but it's not. It's to be relaxed, calm, and just to be persistent in your attack.
After his extraordinary journey over the past 7 years, Tyson's honest about his change from champion in the first fight to challenger in the second.
When I was 21, 19, I thought I really believed that I could beat the world. I'm actually beat the whole world, the whole 5 billion people at one time. You know, I was a different person, man. That was just, oh. And I realized people 20 years old, and they shouldn't never be champion of the world. It doesn't mix, man.
In many eyes, Tyson is already one of the all-time greats, but only when he's facing Bruno in the ring will we find out if he is still the fighter he used to be. It's all there still for Tyson to go on to achieve immortality in boxing terms and maybe reunify the crown. What would be to try to take the WBA world champion, Bruce Seldon. And Seldon...
champion of the world.
Sensational stuff!
He was unbeatable. But that was 8 long years ago. And now, there's a new champion.
What a fight we have here!
Is Tyson ready? Maybe, maybe not. One thing's for sure, Bruno is ready. Live in the early hours of Sunday morning, a fight to make British sporting history. Sky subscriber over here tipping Bruno to win. Why?
Because he's the champion. He beat McCall, he's confident, he's 17 stone 10. You know, why shouldn't he? You remember, he's facing the Mike Tyson of 1996, who was showing none of us anything, not a thing. You know, he's had 3 rounds of boxing. Buster Mathers, you know, he had a good punch, but nothing else. The jab's gone. You know, he's in disarray. You know, what else? What else?
Well, you know what they say, Glenn? They say that fighters are the worst judges of boxing. Now, Bruno, I think, has got more chance of beating Tyson this time round than he had 7 years ago. He's that much bigger. He's probably a little more powerful. But the most important thing, he's got confidence now. He is the champion of the world, the WBC champion of the world, and he believes in his heart that he could win this time, whereas 7 years ago, he didn't believe. He didn't expect to win.
So if you're saying he's...
Wait a moment, he's only finished. Let it go on. But he's no quicker, right? And he still can't punch in combinations. And I think if you beat Tyson, you've got to be able to throw 3, 4 punches together. And that's something Frank has never been able to do. Sure, he's got the power with one shot, but you're not going to knock Tyson out with one shot.
Well, let me ask a question. Does anybody at this table think that Frank Bruno can win a decision from Mike Tyson?
No,
not
not
in
me.
Las Vegas.
Not me.
Not in Las Vegas.
Not anywhere.
No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
But I don't think you'll have to.
point out one thing. Yeah, but I point out one thing to you. Frank Bruno, who is a good puncher, and I think we all agree he's big and strong and he can punch, has yet to knock out a top-flight American heavyweight. What makes you think he's going to knock
Can I make a point to you? Well,
let me try and stop you.
No, right. He fought what we can consider 5 world-class heavyweights in his career. We'll go through them. Bone Crusher Smith, he never put on the floor. Tim Witherspoon, he never put on the floor. Mike Tyson, he never put on the floor. Lennox Lewis, he never put on the floor. Oliver McCall, he never put on the floor. Not that he hasn't knocked them out. He hasn't even put them down.
The difference
How is he
between...
going to do it to Tyson?
Well, I think you should explain that.
The difference between fighting them and fighting Mike Tyson is all of them guys know how to survive.
Do you think that at some stage in the fight, however short it lasts, or however long it lasts, Mike Tyson is going to hit Frank Bruno on the chin?
Sure.
Right. Now, you know what happens to Frank Bruno when he gets hit hard on the chin. There's an electric light in his brain
As
goes
there is when
out.
all of us get hit hard on the
Oh,
chin.
no.
Believe me.
No, there's a difference. A lot of fighters, when they get, they go on the floor, they let their head clear, they go. Frank stands there as if somebody's turned a switch off in his brain.
Frank was programmed. His early fights, he was programmed to win. And he was programmed to win. Yes, he was against McCall. He was programmed to survive.
So you don't think this time?
He was programmed to survive.
You're saying to me then.
So when the chips were down there, when he got hit, then he grabbed. It was crude, but it worked. And that's all you got to be. And I'm sure he'll be crude in this fight. The difference being in this fight, Mike Tyson's only going to be 15-10. So when Frank puts the handcuffs on Mike Tyson's going nowhere.
All right, we'll see.
Fellas,
He's quick enough.
What do we make of all these stories coming from the Tyson camp? I mean, we're told by the corner men that he's looking great, he's sending the sparring partners to hospital. The only time anyone sees him, he looks awful. Where's the truth?
And not only that, and then when he had another chance to show us what he had just 2 days ago, he locked up the gym. So obviously, you can't believe any of that. I mean, I think I heard John Horn say last week, they started with 14 sparring partners, they're down to 3. The rest of them were in hospitals. Like, come on, you know that none of that is true.
And you know, I asked him when he had his last...
I got through 9 weeks of it when he was in his prime, so don't tell me that all these big 6'4" guys.
You look well on it, Glenn. You look well on it.
Yeah, but...
He's a softer character, isn't he?
Maybe.
It didn't look any fire at all against Matt.
He's not going to be the same fighter. All I'm saying is, I mean, I'm not arguing that Mike Tyson is as good now as he was. He'll never be as good as he was. We know that. But I say that even a Mike Tyson that's 70% of what he was is still too good a fighter to lose to Frank Bruno. That's all.
I am not going to go so far as to pick Bruno, but I certainly give him a very good chance.
We do.
Because
he's better than a 10-to-1 on chance.
Oh, absolutely.
I give him a very good shot as well, but I don't think he's going to do it. Now,
I need to see a demonstration that Tyson doesn't have the chin, because I think that really, to beat Bruno, what you need to have is that durability. Just take him past the halfway point, you're going to
do you think Tyson can be good for 12 rounds?
No. I don't think he can be good, but I think he can be strong. I think he can be strong for that long.
But Bruno outweighs him by, what, 20 pounds or something?
I know, but where Bruno gets soft, it's not here, it's here.
Hey, fellas, we got work to do. It's time to fill in the scorecards. Glenn, I think we know where yours goes. Come on.
Bruno, inside the distance.
Colin?
Tyson, 4.
Wally?
I'd give Bruno a little more than that. I'd say Tyson about 8.
Looks like we got a split decision, and Mike Tyson is the new champion. Or is he?
And somehow Ian Darke retains his impartiality. Well, maybe he's entitled to do that. He's going to call the fight for us. And there's quite a discrepancy between the numbers in London and the United States. Bruno's 3-1 against in this country. Tyson's a 9-2 on favourite. But in the States, they make Tyson a 10-1 on favourite. Bruno is 7-1 in the casinos in Las Vegas. They are big odds in a 2-horse race in any sport. Draw 50-1, both bookmakers on both sides of the Atlantic in agreement there. There's been a lot of patriotic money in this country for Bruno. Bookmakers said today they've had 95% of their money for Bruno, but they do report the single biggest bet to Tyson, and one punter in Britain has had £50,000 on Tyson at 9-2 on. Back live to Las Vegas. Now, if you thought I was guilty of overcooking the pudding this week, speaking about this event as the major event in the world, have a look at this. This is the scene outside the MGM Grand Garden, where the trucks of the various media companies and the broadcasters from around the world who will be taking this fight with you as we watch it live here tomorrow. This is how difficult it is even to get a park in the car park space. Just as well Ian Darke got here early, and just as well he's worked hard for everybody's sake. He's still at it, and he's got a couple of Bruno supporters alongside him. Ian.
Yes, I have, yes. Well, I told you the rock star George Michael was going to be here. We've got a couple of the guys, you normally see them on a Friday night, on that other channel somewhere. Frank Skinner and David Baddiel, fantasy football, you know them. It's going to be fantasy boxing, isn't it, if Frank wins this?
Oh, definitely. We're very confident, though, are we not? We're very, very confident, although we're a bit upset because we got here and discovered there's been a mix-up. and we're actually fighting each other on the undercard.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad fight.
That'll be a blow. He's going to have to take his glasses off. Yeah. But I'm missing West Brom Barnsley for this, so it better be a good fight, I'm telling you.
Well, they drew 4-4, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've turned the corner now.
Las Vegas is alive with the news.
Now, what did you make of Don King? I mean, mixing with all these boxing people, it's a bit different from football. He'd be a good goalkeeper, wouldn't he, Don King?
Ian, there's an old black country saying, never trust any man who looks like a shaving brush.
He would be a good goalkeeper, because nothing could get past him here, could it? He just have to stand there and stuff would bounce off his head.
You two really boxing fans? Or
I'm a big boxing fan, yeah. I saw George Foreman here, actually, last night. He's changed. He doesn't use the ukulele anymore, any. No, I love boxing. The one thing that annoys me about boxing is whenever you watch a fight on the telly, there's a fantastic woman comes out holding up the round number, and you only just see her at the corner of the screen. It concentrates on a fat man covered in Vaseline spitting into a bucket.
Yeah, but you see
They've got their priorities wrong.
You presumably see the numbers, girl, the whole time, do you?
Yeah. We never look at the numbers, girls.
Obviously not.
Oh, no, we're busy looking at our scorecard. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Now, I'll keep a scorecard on the numbers, girls, actually.
Have you had a bet?
I'm going to, yeah. I'm going to bet on about £4 on Frank.
Yeah. What about you, David? $4 grand?
No, that's a lie.
That's complete rubbish. Sorry, I'm just frightened by what Frank just said.
Basically, the fee I'm getting for this interview.
Well, you're earning a bit more than we
I've got to support Bruno. I don't know anything about boxing, Ian, and that's why I'm supporting Bruno.
But I've told him that Frank's the favourite, and he believes me. But you know, they said the Spanish said Francis Drake couldn't do it, and he did.
So, he wasn't boxing tonight, was it?
No, he's playing bowls, I think, in the Mirage next door.
It's good to see you fellas here. Enjoy the fight.
God
Thank
bless
you very
you,
much,
Ian.
Ian.
Bruno. We get the message.
Go out, Frank! Go out, Grease Lightning! Yeah!
But little and large remember one thing which might just come in handy.
The funniest thing Frank used to do, he used to let wind escape from his body in this schoolroom scene where we were sat on benches right next to him. I don't know.
We had the merry men, but they weren't so merry when they were sat
they used
behind
to be sat on this bench behind and we were sat on the bench.
And he used to break wind. And,
me, Sid and Frank, and he used to let this wind escape and, well, the poor lads, they used to fall over and all that.
In the end, they made it so obvious that something had happened, you know, because he used to walk away.
And he thought that was hilarious. Yeah. And you always knew when he was going to do it, because he'd start off. Yeah, I can't think of anything funnier than that.
So if all goes, you know, on the Tyson fight, that's what he wants to do when you get out of the ring.
He turns his back on Tyson. Tyson's got no chance.
Not in Glasgow, and ready for action for the first defence of his new world crown against Said Lawal. We have the news from the weigh-in when we come back.
It's showtime, as they say in America. Frank Bruno, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, meets Mike Tyson in around 15 hours from now here in Las Vegas. Thanks very much indeed. The fight takes place here at the MGM Grand, the largest hotel in the world. All 16,500 tickets have now been sold for tonight's contest, and that includes the most expensive ringside seats at £750 each. Mike Tyson, the former undisputed champion, came face-to-face with Frank Bruno at the weigh-in. A noisy occasion was witnessed by Bruno's wife, Laura. The Grand Theatre, with a capacity of 1,800, was full with journalists from around the world.
220 pounds for Mike Tyson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the defending champion from London, England. Here is Britain's favorite son and the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Frank Bruno.
Also present, over 500 Bruno supporters from England. They gave the champion an excellent reception when he stepped on the scales.
247 pounds. 247 pounds for the champion, Frank Bruno.
Bruno, at 17 stone 9, will have a weight advantage of 27 pounds. There's great pressure on the champion as he tries to retain his title, but he's certainly in confident mood.
I'm not making it America versus England, because believe me, when I've been there over in America, the people want me to do a job, they want me to do a favour. A lot of people, I'm not being funny, I'm not being cocky, I'm trying to, you know what I mean, make it out to be England versus America. They want me to do Tyson a favour and wipe him out. You know, no disrespect to him. I think on his own, he's probably a nice guy, but he's got some amateur and some naughty people around, and they need a lesson being taught.
He hurt him last time when he fought him. And it's really going to be a lot about what Mike Tyson's got left. Who knows what he's got? Who knows what it's going to be like for Mike Tyson after 5 or 6 rounds? There's a lot of question marks. There's more question marks over Mike Tyson than there are over Frank Bruno.
He's had his chance. He's had his money. He's made history. I'm going to wipe him out and do him a favour, you know what I mean? So he can go to his house in Vegas and chill out.
As for Mike Tyson, he's been training hard, we're told, at the Golden Gloves gym in Las Vegas. But nearly all of those sessions have been behind closed doors. But a man who's seen all of his workouts is gym owner Hal Miller. He provided this assessment.
I like his attitude now. And he's a real good puncher, boxer. So whoever said anything else but that, I say that Mike Tyson is one of the best coming right up again. And he'll be champion again before time is out.
Bruno gonna jump off the London Bridge. We're gonna make him jump off that London Bridge. We sitting him back there, beltless. What else?
Mr. Crocodile is Tyson's official motivator. He's confident about his employer's chances, along with the rest of the camp.
There's no doubt about it. We know we're gonna get the victory. Inside the 5 rounds, the fight will be over with. And this is what we truly believe, and from the way Mike looking, from the way that Bruno looked, and it just, I can't see it going past 5 rounds.
The only thing I know is that Mike Tyson is in the best shape he could possibly be in. Given that factor, I don't think there's no man in the world can beat him. There's no such thing as upsets and mistakes when they get in the ring with Mike Tyson. Either Mike is in shape or he's not in shape. Either he's ready or he's not ready. Them are the determining factors. What kind of condition, mentally and physically, that he's in. One loss that he had in his whole life, Buster Douglas, he wasn't physically or mentally prepared. Mike is very humble, but if you ask me, I don't think he's going more than 2 rounds. Not to take nothing away from Frank Bruno, I think he's a good fighter, great competitor. It's just that he's up against someone very special.
Having achieved so much in boxing, what ambitions do you have now? Can you tell us?
It's the win. It's the win and be a good father. Try my best to. It's something new. You know what I mean? As far as myself putting in the time, it's pretty exciting.
Does boxing still mean so much to you? We know that you're a sort of connoisseur of the old heavyweights. You love to talk to them. Do you still feel the love for the game?
More or less, yeah. I love boxing. I'm always loved boxing. I never have anything derogatory to say because boxing uplifted me and my life and my social status so much that it's incredible to even ever think about saying anything blasphemous about it.
British fans will wonder and would like to know, because you have a big following, what sort of things do you like to do when you're not training and you're not preparing for a fight? What interests you?
I like to go to Maryland and spend time with my daughter.
A proud dad?
Yeah, I'm very proud. She's the love of my life.
Yeah, is she sleeping well, not keeping you awake too much?
Well, I haven't spent much time because she's only 3 weeks old and she's giving her mother a run for her money.
Now, tell us about this fight against Frank Bruno. He's an old sort of friend of yours, isn't he? How do you rate him these days?
Frank is a very good fighter. I respect Frank a great deal as an individual. He's a very competitive fighter, and I'm just looking forward to doing well.
How impressed have you been with Frank Bruno since he beat Oliver McCall for the world title?
Well, you know, he fought Oliver McCall, and he put out a very good showing. And I'm just happy they gave me an opportunity to fight for the title.
What do you feel his main tactic will be against you, Mike, to try and stop you?
I don't know. I'm sure he'll be prepared, so will I.
Do you see it going long, the fight?
Regardless, whatever the outcome, I'm going to be prepared.
Right. And at this stage, can you describe your mood? The fight's just around the corner now. How do you feel inside?
I feel pretty good. I feel very confident about the fight.
Having achieved all that you have, do you still get sort of nervous? Do you get tetchy? Do you get irritable with people?
All the time, but it's just a part of feeling confident.
And if we were to ask you for a prediction, what would the prediction be?
Spectacular win.
And just to reassure you that it does all still go ahead, Lennox Lewis's legal attempt to block the contest in Las Vegas has been rejected by a New Jersey court overnight. However, the judge ruled that Lewis had been treated badly by the WBC and that he should be the next opponent for the winner of Bruno Tyson. So Radio 5 Live for live coverage of that big fight in Las Vegas, around about 4 o'clock in the morning.
What's that now, Joe? 8 stone, 13 pounds.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Bob.
Prince Nazim Ahmed, 8 stone, 13 pounds, 12 ounces.
Oh, yeah.
Hamed looking ready for business once more then. So far his success has transformed him from successful sportsman to big-time celebrity. But this Sheffield star isn't losing touch with his hometown or the gym where it all began for him.
The industrial skyline of Sheffield gives no hint to its prominence on the sporting map. Known notably for its steel production, it now is recognised as a home to many great sports venues and renowned sportsmen and women. Among them the Prince, a young man doing his bit for his hometown.
Wherever Naz travels, they know, yeah, he's that little guy from Sheffield, you know? He's put Sheffield on the map.
A lot of people are jealous of Naz, but really deep down I think they've got to be proud of him. Really deep down they've got to be proud of him for what he's achieved.
Naz's achievements have spurred those around him to greater things. He has an influence, and in his own gym there are a magnificent 7 to look out for. Clifton Mitchell, heavyweight. Ryan Rhodes, middleweight. Johnny Nelson, cruiserweight. Pele, heavyweight. John Thaxton, light welterweight. Chris Saunders, welterweight. And of course, the one and only Prince Naseem Hamed. These young men are striving for greatness. Some have tried and failed before, but they're still trying. And yes, if you can only count 6, well, Naz was late, but still an inspiration nevertheless.
The arrogance he shows in the ring, that is just his personality. I think that's what has got him so far. But in Sheffield, he's, like I say, he's put Sheffield on the map.
It's great. Just watching him, you know, when I finish training, rather than just get showered and go home, I just, you know, watch him, you know, he's incredible.
I can honestly say I haven't seen anybody move the way he does, you know what I mean? He's gifted. He's a gifted individual.
Naz has put Sheffield on the map and is great for Sheffield.
As he practices his moves and goes through his twice daily routines, he knows they're watching and taking notes, and that it helps.
They are experiencing and learning what I'm doing at the moment in time. So when they get to their point in their career, like Ryan to me is a destined world champion. Johnny Nelson's got more talent than anybody in Britain, Europe and the world, I think, and he'll shock a lot of people. There goes for Clifton Mitchell, Pele, Jonathan Thaxton. All of them really can do it. It's just inside their heads. What they've got to get in their heads is positive mental attitude.
Naz doesn't reserve his inspirational qualities solely to boxing. He goes to Sheffield football, ice hockey, but mostly basketball home matches.
When the people around town who are celebrities in their own right look at the shops and say, hey, I like those guys, you know, they're pretty good, I like their style, I like what they're all about. It just gives us a heightened exposure, and Naseem Hamed coming in and being our special guest on our last match with 7,500 people, which is fantastic.
They appreciate me coming down, and I got down, have a laugh, went on court the other day. I mean, they give my own vest, Prince Naseem on the back, number 6, so it's cool, you know.
The people of Sheffield are appreciative of Naz's support. At the city's town hall, I asked the Lord Mayor just what it meant to the people themselves.
He gives us a profile, he helps our profile, a sporting profile, and he talks about Sheffield. He's an ambassador for Sheffield elsewhere. But of course, Sheffield are always pleased when people reach these sort of dizzy heights that he has.
Prince Naseem is proud of what he's done and how he helps, but as far as he's concerned, this is only the start.
I know I've played my part, but I reckon there could be a lot more done after winning more world titles. Bring them back to Sheffield.
Gary Norman with Naseem Hamed there. Is this going to be straightforward tomorrow night, Nicky, for him?
I must admit, I don't know too much about Lawil, the challenger, but I think so. I think Naseem is so far above everybody else in Europe at the moment that there isn't anybody to challenge him. I mean, he really has to go to the States to...
You're a very intelligent man.
He's not very good at geography.
No, he's doing all right on the geography, but Europe implies that there's a lot of world out there that he has yet to conquer.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, the Americans will be the ones to test him, and maybe Azuma Nelson at the end of the year if they can get that on. But I don't think Lawil will come close at the moment.
Barry, obviously, for obvious reasons, former featherweight world champion yourself, you know this area, this division, so well. I think you have a sense that he's going to be tested this year. So.
Well, he has to be tested. He's the champion of the world now. Everybody's pitching for him. Everybody's gunning for him. I know nothing about Lawil. I would suggest that he's an easy option to get him back from his hand injury. That's a big question mark. Has his hand recovered? So he'll go out and have a look at the guy, careful look at him, and then pick his shots. And if he can nail the guy properly, could take him out. But the suggestion is that he really is not in Naz's league. But this year is the year where Naz can actually become universal. He needs to go to America. He needs to fight Marco Antonio Barrera. He needs to fight Tom Johnson, the featherweight champion.
Because it's a very strong division.
Oh, it's a damn good division. There's some great champions out there. But I think Naz is probably the best one in the weight division at the moment. But the Nelson fight is a different story. That's someone that he would really have to get himself up for.
First Step for Hamid, live with us tomorrow night. 3 big fight venues, 3 major bills in 3 countries as we pack it in on one night of boxing, and finally to Berlin, where Joe Bugner returns to action in Europe at the age of 46, hoping to upset the emerging young heavyweight talent Scott Welsh. Welsh is the British champion and eyes bigger prizes. Joe promises that this will be the night when he proves he can be as good as any 40-something heavyweight.
When Scott Welsh and Joe Bugner first met, it was all fairly amicable. But behind closed doors, they were certainly talking a good fight.
He's come out of retirement twice, but I think I will retire him permanently.
It will not go 12 rounds. That I can guarantee you.
Away from the ring, Scott Welsh is a nice guy. But once inside it, there's a job to be done, as he proved last time out against Oyabola.
But Welsh is back in control, and Oyabola is in trouble. The referee's taking a very close look here, and he's going to step in, and we have a new British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion.
Around the same time, on the other side of the world, Aussie Joe started his 3rd comeback. He's still a big name, but holds no fear for Welsh.
It's just another fight to me. The name doesn't really mean anything. He's just another man in front of me who I've got to dispose of.
I've seen the lad fight, you know, I mean, he's like a typical British bulldog, you know, you have to put a nuzzle on him or knock him out. It'll be one or the other, because he comes forward, he attacks. I personally don't think he's big enough to handle someone like me, or capable. But I mean, look, he's going to be in there to try and defend his title and represent his country. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm going to go in there and just sort of get rid of him as quick as possible.
At the pre-fight press conferences, it was Big Joe who was getting the attention and taking all the headlines. All Welsh could do was be patient. But why another comeback for the man who's been there, seen it, and done it?
Money. I mean, look, I mean, I'd be silly to turn around and say I'm doing it because I love the sport. I don't. I'm doing it because it's a way to ends of a mean. I mean, I need to get myself out of this dilemma that I'm in at the moment, and boxing's the only way I know I can do it.
Welsh has money. His money comes from care homes for the elderly, as he was all too keen to point out to his veteran opponent.
I've got 2 old people's homes, so I'm used to dealing with old people. One more ain't going to make a difference to me. So, yeah.
And you saved the room from overlooking the sea.
Yeah, I mean, if you get fed up with the Gold Coast, you can always come to Hove Seafront. There's a nice room overlooking Hove Beach.
For Joe, he knows this has to be the last time. He's got 9 months left to lift the world heavyweight title.
If it's not this year, it won't happen, because, you know, you can only take so much, and to be honest, that's it. I mean, this year's it.
For Scott, victory will put his name firmly on the map.
Hopefully, you know, I'll get a lot of publicity out of it as well, so everybody who tunes in to see Joe Bugner will see me, obviously, and hopefully next time I fight, they'll be tuning in to see me.
Scott Welsh has thrilled us already this year with his performances, and Barry, you think he's a man who can go a long way into the world class. How tricky an opponent is Bugner going to be?
Bugner's not going to be easy. He's big and he's strong. He's got a good chin, and you know, he's even with Bruno. He lasted into the, I think it was the 10th or 11th round. So he'll put up good resistance. He'll box fast hand. He's never been. We watched him training the other day. That his punches they're all arm punches, just quick. He's 46 years old. I'm not convinced that he can come back and do it. He'll give him a good fight. He'll put up resistance for about 8-9 rounds, and then he'll get knocked out or he'll get beaten up.
Nicky.
This is one which is, for me, very hard to predict. I think Scott Welsh, of course we all want Scott Welsh to win. I think he's nowhere near his peak yet. He's a young guy that's getting better and stronger every day. Whereas Big Joe, of course, a very experienced, very big man with a good jab, and could, if he's in very good condition, and people are saying he's better than he was 8 years ago, outpoint Scott Welsh, or even late stoppage. I wouldn't like to predict.
Welsh hasn't fought anybody with anything like the experience of Bugner.
Yeah, that's true. But the point is, Joe is not a mover. If you watch even the bit we showed of the Australian Championship, he's basically standing there and just picking his punches, and the guy was subdued and he wasn't really working properly. Scott Welch will be in his face, and he punches like a kick from a horse. He punches really hard. He's a good-looking kid. He's got a bright future, and probably one of the best white heavyweights in the world.
We've got so much great boxing for you over the next few days. Now, just to remind you, we also bring you the Night of the Young Heavyweights, the big Atlantic City promotion over the weekend. 10 o'clock start time in the morning, Saturday, Sky Sports. Some of the youngsters who hope to step up to major world class on that bill. And then, for big-time boxing, Sky Sports 2, Welch against Bugner for the WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight title in Berlin. And also, on Sky Sports 2, it's Hamed from Glasgow. Nassim defending his WBO World Featherweight title for the first time against Saeed Lawal. So much to look forward to in the build-up to the main event, our big fight special, Frank Bruno against Mike Tyson for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. We start from around 1 in the morning. I can hardly wait. And I'm sure Glenn and Ian can hardly wait either. I think we should get back there for a final word from you two. How do you really see it developing?
Well, I must say, I lean towards Mike Tyson here. I mean, at his peak, he was always a fighter who hit harder than Bruno, took a punch better than Bruno, was faster than Bruno, and had more skills than Bruno. I think you've got to say, if he's lost that and gone back far enough, then maybe Frank's got a chance. And I must say, I've been very impressed with Frank's attitude here. They're making Tyson 10-1 on. I don't think it's that kind of fight at all, but I think you have to go with him if you are trying to predict it. I know he disagrees.
Well, we'll go to Glenn in just a second, Ian, but one other thought. We get a picture here that Tyson is by no means loved by every section in America.
Far from it. I think there's a lot of people over here who would be quite happy to see him get beaten. I think he's now seen as a small heavyweight. He's been to jail on the rape charge. He's basically an unloved figure. They wouldn't be heartbroken at all if Bruno was to win this.
Right, Glenn, you had a happy reunion with Tyson earlier in the week, but you pricked Bruno last time and went against the trend, and you're going to do that again now, are you?
I am. I think it's Frank's turn. He's ready, he's bigger, he's stronger. And I think the real thing is Mike Tyson is not the Mike Tyson of 7 years ago. He just hasn't got the jab. He's not the same movement. He hasn't got the camp around him. I just think there's so many things which are going to take away the ingredients that was the once great Mike Tyson. And I think Frank Bruno does everything basically very well. The jab is going to keep him off. And then I think the big punches, you could see Mike Tyson rocked, and you could see a big shock, and you could see Frank winning the title, keeping the title.
All right, very good work. Thanks, fellas. Hope you're going to enjoy your pre-fight preparations. Thanks for now to Glenn McCrory and Ian Darke. And just before we close, we'll have a quick word here in the studio, and I mean a quick word with Barry and Nicky. I'll put you on the spot first, Nicky.
I think Mike Tyson in about 7 rounds. I hope Frank wins, and he's got a very good chance, good betting odds if you want to flutter with your money, but I think Mike Tyson will come through.
I agree. The safe money should go on Bruno. He's worth the risk. However, in past record, you've got to go with Tyson as favourite, but don't be surprised if Bruno puts him on the seat of his pants.
It's going to be great, isn't it? Nicky and Barry will be an integral part of it, along with all the team in Las Vegas. Hope very much you've enjoyed the show and our preview programs throughout the week. We'll see you again on Saturday night for a rare sporting event which will truly bring a country together. And who knows, even the opposing heavyweights in the big one in Berlin will probably speak with one voice about Bruno's chances stateside. They may even fancy meeting him again, but they're certainly right behind him when it comes to the big one. From the team, bye for now.
Good luck, Frank. I'll be cheering you on. I know you can do it. Later.
Big Frank, this is your old foe. You knock that son of a gun out. Tyson in 5. You do it, son.
Mr. Bruno talking very brave and courageous.
In a fight to make British sporting history.
Mike Tyson is not the Mike Tyson of 7 years ago.
The world is in for a big surprise.
The time for talking is over, and there's no turning back.
Get it on! Tonight, Frank Bruno will step into the ring with the legendary Mike Tyson.
There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way.
Sky subscribe.
Of boxing of all time, and the climax will be Bruno against Tyson for the biggest prize in sport, the WBC World Heavyweight Championship.
Now, WBC World Heavyweight Champion.
There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way.
Champion Bruno meets challenger Tyson.
And Garden in Las Vegas, more than 16,000 people in this arena. Every seat has been sold for the main event. The live boxing about to get underway. We also have 3 world title fights on the undercard for you from there tonight. And across Britain, everybody's going to root for Bruno, surely. Earlier tonight, we were in Glasgow. We witnessed Prince Nassim Hamed demolishing the challenge of Saeed Lawal in pretty quick time. The party is about to start, and Hamed will be the guest of honour, cheering Bruno on at that party in Glasgow a little later in the evening. So settle in with us. The pursuit of the biggest prize in sport has been an obsession that has driven Frank Bruno since his teenage years. He'd already failed in one bid to become the WBA world champion when he went to the United States to try to wrest the WBC world heavyweight crown from a feared world champion, Mike Tyson. The date then, February the 25th, 1989. The venue, the Hilton, Las Vegas.
Swarming in immediately, pulling Bruno into the ropes. Bruno rocked, and he's in trouble, and he's down! Maybe someday our roads will cross. Oh, some good shots from Bruno, and he's got him, and he's hurt the champion.
He came back up again. If he hit me with left hook. It's not that he hurt me, he just hit me with a hard punch. And I guess got caught with it.
Bruno in trouble again, caught with a right and a left. Hangs on.
A red-winged hawk is circling. The blacktop stretches out for days. How could I get so close to you and still feel so far away? I hear a voice come on the wind, saying you and I will meet again. I don't know how,
Oh, can he survive this round? He's in trouble again. 10 seconds left. Steele looks on. That's enough. That's enough.
And the way he was talking, I knew he was hyped. He was ready to go. And I knew I was the best fighter in the world.
I think I've Tyson off the old, so I'm just concentrating and focusing on him being dangerous, very, very fast and bullying and whatever. But he's going to get a shot when I get in there. I'll be 2 stone heavier than him. I'll be faster than what he ever can imagine I'm going to be, and stronger, and I just can't wait to do a number on him.
He wasn't quite good enough first time round.
It is your time, your date with destiny. Tonight, your talent, your honesty, and your courage will speak for you. And we are with you. Frank, you've beaten the odds before. And Frank, this is how legends are created. Britain stands behind you.
9 years ago, 1982, the year that a gawky, awkward, naive 20-year-old Frank Bruno began his professional career, telling us that one day he would rule the world. Bruno had grown up as a bit of a tearaway and bully on the streets of Wandsworth in South London. His first fight was with his teacher, and they sent him to a school for problem children. He cried all the way there,
But in his early days, he was a bit of, well, pretty awkward. I mean, you go through those things, but not nasty with awkward, but I mean, you know, challenging and wanting to be noticed. He was watching television, and the Magpie program was on, and a boy on that asked for people to fight of his own age, because he was so big, he was only fighting men. So we contacted the Magpie program. They put us in touch with the lad, and we went up there, and they fought, and only lasted one round.
Bruno's fighting became legit in the ring. In 1980, he became the ABA heavyweight champion. Bruno had signed with Terry Lawless, who'd already produced 3 world champions in John H. Stracey, Morris Hope, and Jim Watt. Then they were almost like father and son, and they had a powerful promoter behind them in Mickey Duff. Bruno was so keen in those days, they could hardly keep him out of the gym.
If a boxer likes training, it's very hard to stop him, because boxers have very little to do other than train.
But Frank's career was nearly stillborn because of eye trouble.
We had to send him all the way to Colombia to have the treatment, but the treatment was successful, and we paid all the costs of it, and eventually was granted a license.
Who cared that the opponents were hand-picked for harmlessness? Big Frank was knocking them over, and even though he rarely intended it, he just had that way of making you laugh. The nation was suddenly hooked on this big, doleful, ultra-polite bloke with the deep voice.
Everybody out there, Harry, I'd like to wish him a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Thank you very much.
As a pro, the first alarm bells were ringing in his 19th fight. Bruno was poleaxed against ex-jailbird Jumbo Cummings.
Oh, what a good right hand, right on the bellum. Oh, Bruno's gone. He's gone.
He survived somehow and went on to win. 7 months later, in 1984, his unbeaten run came to an end. He dominated for 9 of the 10 rounds against future world champion Bone Crusher Smith. Then it all went wrong.
And he doesn't know where he is. Smith doing a Cummings on him. And Bruno looks out on his feet to me. Oh, he's got him. Oh, dear me, the end of the Bruno story by the look of this.
But I can remember at the weigh-in, Bone Crusher turning round to Frank and making a remark to him like, I'm going to knock you out, or words to that effect. And Frank looked at him. I kept saying to Frank earlier on, I knew that fella was going to do that. Frank, don't let him get at you. Don't, if he do, but don't show any signs of anything.
It's an amazing thing. I had a spirit, like a spirit message. At the end of the 9th round, I walked out of the building into the dressing room. I said, I can't take this. I had a feeling, a premonition, something was going to happen.
This could have been the end of the Bruno story. It wasn't. He continued to chase his improbable dream, and after he'd spread eagled the world-class South African Hedy Coetzee, the chance came to challenge at last for the world title against Philadelphia's terrible Tim Witherspoon.
When we got in the ring, what got everyone really was, we all handled it well. There was Witherspoon's mob, there was me, Terry Lawless, Frank Black, Mickey Duff, and they were supposed to have 3 or 4 in the ring. They had about 20 people in the ring, and they would come right across to our corner, and we was pushing them back because we were going to finish up outside the ring. They tried to put pressure on, that's what I'm trying to say, even before the first round in the ring. Now, we've got a young man, first time coming up for the World Heavyweight Championship, and they've come across. But she said to Frank, come on, don't worry about it. We're in the ring now, we're in the ring, there's nothing we can do about it. He handled it well.
For 8 rounds, Bruno was going well that night at Wembley Stadium. Then the petrol tank ran dry in round 11.
And Bruno is close to defeat at this moment. He's going to go down, he's going to go down. Witherspoon's got him in the 11th round, and Bruno goes over, and Witherspoon's hitting while he's on the floor, and the towel has come in from Terry Lawless. It's all over.
At the end of the 8th round, I had him 2 rounds ahead. You can't take nothing away from Frank Bruno. He was brilliant that night until he ran out of gas. And, you know, he got worn out, as I've said, lack of stamina.
3 years after Witherspoon, he got another title chance, this time at the Las Vegas Hilton against the young, savage champion Mike Tyson, then in his prime, despite the wreckage of his personal life. Bruno was down early on, but then rocked Tyson late in round 1. If only he'd followed it up. but even an off-key Iron Mike had too much class for Frank that night.
The only reason he got beat with Tyson was he got hit on the chin. He was down in the first round. It wasn't caught properly, but it was caught enough to be dropped. And he got up without a count, I think. And that went on. And then he was, in my opinion, comfortably ahead at one stage, always with the danger of being knocked out. Then he got tired and got on the ropes and had nowhere to go. The same ending as the others.
After Tyson, Bruno still came home a hero, but surely he was finished at world level. He needed further eye surgery, and the long-time partnership with Terry Lawless broke up acrimoniously. Lawless is still so upset by that split that he declined an invitation to talk about it on this program. Bruno had now matured. He was his own man, making his own big decisions. The experienced George Francis had taken over as trainer. But a third world title attempt against Lennox Lewis on a rainy night in Cardiff produced a carbon copy ending. Good start, no stamina or survival instincts. But against Lewis, Bruno had perhaps boxed better than ever that night in defeat. Promoter Frank Warren snapped him up, and Bruno, fighting on when most would have given up, engineered a fourth and surely last chance against Oliver McCall. The rest, you know. Bruno is the champion!
Challenger, 1986. Challenger, 1989. Challenger, 1993. Challenger, 1995. Now, WBC World Heavyweight Champion.
There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way.
Champion Bruno meets challenger Tyson.
The entrance of the gladiators is less than 10 minutes away. In the last few days, Frank Bruno has been working very hard to project the usual affable exterior, but scratch the surface and you find a man motivated by an obsessive desire for success and a desire for revenge. Ian Darke asked Bruno about his last meeting with Tyson and why he believes it will be different this time.
If someone give me £50 million, it would mean as much as this means to me. I'm the champion, the WBC champion. He's going to try and take it off me, but he's only going to get a look at it because his time is gone. I'm going to be a vicious bastard, you know what I mean? And he's going to get hurt. I want him to be fit in donkey's lap when I punch his face in. It's America versus England. It's a war. But as I said to President Clinton, Mike Tyson's going to look very, very good on my CV. I've been up, down in the gutter, treaded on, spatted on, disrespected. I've been through all that. This time is my time, it's my future, and I can't wait to find Mike Tyson.
Now it's revenge time, and he wants to clear the decks.
He's going to come away with his belt, and we're taking it back to England.
Get in there, I'm just going to freak, you know what I mean? He cannot beat me that night, he cannot. I refuse to be beaten, I refuse to be hurt. I promise you, I will not let you down. I come in with the belt and I'm leaving with my belt.
We're getting ready to rumble, we're getting ready to see Tyson tumble.
He's just got to hit that line, and that's it.
If Frank is ever going to beat Tyson, this is the opportunity.
I'll be cheering you on. I know you can do it.
My dad's going to win, that's all I know.
There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way. Hook or crook, I'm going to win. Boy, he'll have to kill me to beat me that night, man. He'll have to murder me.
The champion, the champion.
Does he go home with his belt? Final thought from Gary Mason.
I believe that revenge is the wrong motive, but John Major has sent him a message wishing him well, and I can only back that and say, good luck, Frank.
Duke Mackenzie?
Yeah, I think Frank will do it. I can just hear George Francis now giving him all the confidence that he needs, and George Francis is one of the best trainers in the world, and I believe that they've done their own work, and it's, you know, it's like Frank keeps saying, it's his time.
And Barry?
This is the moment of truth. This is a time for put up or shut up.
And what happens?
Wait till the first bell rings.
Time for talking's over then. Let's get to Las Vegas. The MGM Grand is full, noisy and passionate, and in the middle of it, Glenn McCrory and Ian Darke.
Thank you very much indeed. You can hardly hear yourself think here already because the British fans have been making a thunderous noise. And Glenn, still Bruno for you.
I still think he can do it. If he's got the belief now, he's had it all week. He's had it for a long time. He's just the final few moments. He's got to still believe in himself. If he can do that, I'm sure he can win.
Mike Tyson makes his entrance. As ever, no frills, no smoke, no lasers, no gaudy dressing gowns. Just the solid black, no socks, just those black boots, like some throwback from the Jack Dempsey era. This is the reception he will walk out to. Tyson has been telling us this week he wants to fight in England. When he walks in here, he'll feel like he is in England. His reign of terror in the heavyweight division ended, of course, 6 years ago, and his comeback so far has been unconvincing. Is this too far, too soon for the old, savage, ferocious champion? For the first time in his life in the United States, Mike Tyson emerges to a chorus of boos.
That's right, he's never heard anything like that before. Will that affect him? Frank Bruno has so much support here.
I can't remember a fight in recent memory with this kind of atmosphere surrounding it. Will we see the rebirth of the old, frightening, chilling Tyson? Or is he now just a faded talent who's struggling to remember his lines? Mike Tyson, sometimes he cuts a troubled, joyless figure. A man for whom boxing is the only thing that makes sense in a turbulent life. But now what? 10 years since he first became the world's youngest heavyweight champion against Trevor Berling. That was 1986. Now it's 96. And we're hearing from backstage that Nigel Benn may be leading his big mate Frank Bruno out. We'll try to look for that. Now here comes Big Frank. How's he look, Glenn?
I think at this moment he looks a little pensive. He doesn't know what to expect. I think when he gets out in the arena, he's going to hear the cheers. That's going to fill him up. He's going to remember everything. It's going to make him feel confident. You hear them saying, it's your time, Frank.
I refuse to be beaten, he says. There's his brother on the far side, Michael Nesmith. The trainer George Francis in the background. He's seen it all before. Fans can see these pictures, as you can see on the screen, inside the arena. At any moment now, Frank Bruno will enter to a thunderous, unforgettable reception from thousands of British fans who've travelled to the fight capital of the world. the man once dismissed as a serial loser at this level. He's overcome 3 world title defeats, 2 lots of eye surgery, and has proved many people wrong. Will he confound everybody again tonight? The Las Vegas bookmakers don't really give him a chance, but these fans do.
They do. Nigel Benn gets in the ring first, carrying the Union Jack. And a tremendous reception for Frank Bruno.
Frank Bruno reaching out tonight for the biggest win ever by a British boxer, and probably Britain's biggest sporting moment since England won the 1966 World Cup. The MGM Grand Garden packed with over 16,000 fans. It's a sellout. Did we ever believe in 1989, when Tyson was ruling the world, that Bruno, 7 years later, would be fighting him again, only this time as champion? It's almost too fanciful to believe. There's the tail of the tape. Bruno, 5 years older. Tyson will be 30 soon, though. Big weight advantage, nearly 2 stone for Frank Bruno. 17-9 plays 15-10 in English language, and a reach advantage as well, but a speed advantage for Tyson, and probably a power advantage too. There's the rules. No 3 knockdown rule there, the 3rd one down. The fighter can't be saved by the bell, except in the last round. Only the referee can stop the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our action at this time, I'd like to ask you to rise for the playing of the national anthems. We shall begin with the national anthem of our visiting world champion from Great Britain.
Your time. Gonna rush, watch the uppercut, just keep the defense tight and dictate the pace.
Please remain standing, ladies and gentlemen. Now we present the national anthem of the United States. From Cleveland, Ohio, we bring to you a world-renowned father and son duo, Eddie Levert of the legendary OJs and his son Gerald Levert of Levert, to sing the U.S. national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming from stripes and bright stars through the fervent fire for the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
Championship Boxing. A donation of $5,000 will be made by Don King Productions and Showtime Networks to the United Negro College Fund, the National Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and tonight to the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. This donation will be made in the name of the fighter of the night, who will be chosen by a panel of expert judges at the conclusion of tonight's action. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Grand Garden here at the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Don King Productions and Frank Warren's Sports Network, along with Kingvision, Showtime Event Television, La Cerveza Masfina Corona Beer, and the MGM Grand. This match coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council. The President, Jose Suleiman, supervisors Edward Tungaraja and Juan Sanchez. Along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the chairman is Dr. James Day. Commissioners, Matt Carasale, Dr. Lucas Gana, and Christine Rivera. The executive director, Mark Rattler. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Pomansky, Dr. Robert Boyd, Dr. William Berliner, and Dr. Margaret Goodman. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, Al Mysick and Jane Broadfoot. Introducing to you our judges. They'll be scoring this bout from ringside. Anek Hongtongkam, Larry O'Connell, and Jerry Robb. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! With the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, introducing to you a referee in charge, working in this his 86th world title bout, Mills Lane. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing his traditional solid black trunks, fighting out of Catskill, New York. He weighed in at 220 pounds with an outstanding record of 43 wins, only 1 defeat, 37 wins coming by way of knockout. The youngest man ever to win the heavyweight crown, currently ranked the #1 heavyweight contender by the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, introducing the one, the only, Iron Mike Tyson. And his opponent across the ring on my left, defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing red, white, and blue of Great Britain. Fighting out of and representing London, England, he weighed in at 247 pounds. His record includes 40 wins, 4 losses, with 38 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the first defense of his title. Please welcome Britain's favorite son, and he is the current and defending WBC heavyweight champion of the world. There is only one, Frank Bruno.
What a reception for Frank Bruno.
In charge, now to give instructions.
And Frank Bruno looking so fired up, so pumped up as he gets last words from trainer George Francis.
Listen here. It goes right. It goes right here. I'm not going to call it low. All right? Now, you've already had your instruction. This is for the championship of the world. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions, Mr. Tyson? Mr. Bruno, let's get it on.
Well, the atmosphere here is making the hairs on the back of our necks stand up. It's that exciting. Bruno looks so focused. Remember in the first round, the last time they met, Bruno was down within 20 seconds. It was also the round, though, that he rocked Tyson and didn't really follow it up. Tyson, who's won 7 times in his career, inside a minute, and his camp have warned that he'll start explosively. Let's see. Tyson trying to let go with the right hand. We were told that Tyson would try to jump on Tyson like a bug from the opening bout. A key moment here will be what happens when Bruno lands for the first time, because Tyson hasn't really taken a punch in anger for something like 5 years.
Frank really has to try and get him on a jab and hit him with the big right hand as quick as he can. He has to make Tyson realize that Frank's there and he means business.
Bruno has to pump out that jab and mean it. Good body shot from him. He's outweighing Tyson by 2 stones nearly, but that was a big right hand from Tyson, and it made Bruno want to hold on. And Millslade warning him for the first time about holding. Tyson has accused Bruno of being a dirty fighter in the build-up. Frank took that right hand well, though.
He took it well, but he's got to be very careful of that punch. Tyson's looking to get in close very quickly, and the punch he's looking for is that overhand right.
Tyson's given him the charge at times in this opening round.
Bruno's got to try and settle it down. He's got to try and get the jab working. Use the right uppercut.
Get off that neck. Get off that neck.
Millslade is obviously heard the complaints of the Tyson camp. He's not going to let Bruno do that in the way he got away with against the call. Bruno got him with a big right hand there. That was Frank's best punch so far.
Quit grabbing. Come on.
Bruno's going to have to be careful as he's caught with that right hand about this holding on, because Millslade is going to deduct a point if he keeps doing it, I think.
Yes, I think he is. A big right hand again went in from Tyson. He was doing the right thing. This is hard moments. Tyson's throwing everything in the first round, so he's got to try and smother him, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get a caution.
Bruno employing those newfound survival techniques to buy some time.
Come on.
Let's work, says referee Millslade.
Again, Bruno looks for that right overcut. He's trying to catch Tyson coming in, and he's landing with some decent punches inside.
Clubbing, holding again behind the head, Bruno, and hitting. Tyson doesn't like it. Shoots a glance at the referee. Big right hand, Tyson, and a left hand that staggered Bruno. And Bruno, well, 3 years ago, probably he would have been stopped from that point, but he held on. And he gets Tyson with a big right hand, then a left hook from Tyson. What an opening round this is. This isn't going to last long if it goes on like this.
And it looks like Frank may have a cut on the left eye. There seemed to be a little bit of blood about. Probably put a big overhand right hand from Tyson.
What an opening round. They just swapped a word at the end of that. Everyone on their feet. Bruno was badly staggered, and he is cut. Bad cut by the left eye.
Feel a punch go over your head. Come up punch.
That's terrible cut by the look of it.
Yes, a very bad cut. It looked like the big right hands over the top, of course, that they're going to have to work very hard on that to stop that.
George Francis working away in there. Kevin Sanders, Johnny Bloomfield there on the far side. Crisis moments for Bruno. He was hurt in that opening round. He landed a few big ones of his own.
Get ahead of you, man. Be firm. So what, Mill? So what?
That's the punch that curved in the damage. The big overhand right hand. You see Bruno's legs went there. Solid punches from Tyson. Anxious moments for Bruno.
Second round. No knockdowns, but close to one in that first round. Tyson almost pushing Bruno over the top rope there. And I think
you guys are fighting a hell of a fight. Don't get that shit in there. Come on.
He wants them to clean it up a little bit. But he's right, it is a hell of a fight. And again, Tyson's right hand. He catches Bruno. This is ominous for Bruno.
Yes, Bruno has to to try and get the jab and some of his own big punches going. He's just allowed Tyson to land the first punch.
Let him go.
And he's not managing to keep Tyson away behind that left jab. He has to be pumping that out all the time, you feel. Those big arms like tree trunks. At this point, Bruno needs the time.
Let him go, Frank, come on.
Tyson has not lost his punch, clearly.
No, he started very well, but he's continuously looking for that right hand. Bruno's got to do something to counteract that.
The left hook from both of them. Bruno was staggered a little bit again. He's caught by the right hand. He can't keep on taking them like this. There are two left hooks.
Bruno's tense and he's not getting his own punches off. He's allowed Tyson to connect first.
Again, the left hand gets through. At the moment, Tyson isn't missing with much, not when he throws the punches with real evil intent.
Let him go, Frank. Let him go.
Again, Bruno's still at ability here. He's holding on. It's bad moments. He's got to try and get his jab going. Got to get his own big punches off.
You mustn't let Tyson set himself. The jab is the key.
I feel there's going to be a warning for Bruno for the holding.
1 point up. 1 point up.
Point up for Bruno. And he had that happen to him in the first fight as well. He can't complain that he wasn't warned about it.
Let him go. Let him get out. Let him get out. Come on. Let him go, Frank. Come on.
Bruno's only done 1.5 rounds. He looks as if he's done about 3 turns southpaw.
Let him go.
More than 3.
Let him go, Frank.
The blood flows again from the eye.
Bruno landed with an uppercut there, but there was nothing behind it.
Come on, Frank. Let him go.
Becoming very messy. Bruno looking to hold.
Come on.
Tyson complains again about the holding and hitting. Good right uppercut inside from Bruno.
Come on, let him go.
Bruno, who says, I'm going to do Tyson a favour and wipe him out. He doesn't want to be here. Well, Tyson looks as if he does, unfortunately. And there's another left hook that goes stunning in and again. Bruno wants to buy time. Desperately holding on. He's in big trouble here.
Yes, he is. He just can't find the answer to the rushes that Tyson's throwing at him. The big right hand, just the speed of punch at this point is just too much for Bruno. He's got to try and get something going.
You're getting fucking slower and slower. Now listen to me, Frank. This is all you fucking wanted. Throw the uppercuts with some fucking venom, and when you hit him, it's in hard.
George Francis there.
Don't throw him your hands
Reading
on
him
the
the
eye.
right.
There's nothing wrong with the eye, okay?
There's nothing wrong with the eye, they're saying to him, but I think he turned southpaw in that round because he couldn't see out of that left eye.
You're getting slower, don't now. Come on, you know you can win the fight. Well, fucking we'll win it, right? Okay, don't wait for him. Pop, pop, pop.
The big right hand, that's the one that's doing the damage. Again, you see the legs start to go from Bruno there, and again he looks to hold. He's just not getting his own punches off. He's got to go out there, and he's got to throw something back. You see the right hand missed from Bruno. Tyson comes back with punches, nothing back from Bruno.
The fact is, Tyson's pretty easy to hit himself. He's just taking the shots better.
He is, and all Tyson's doing is just looking for the big right hand.
Short left hook there as they held on.
Look. Time. Now we disqualify for holding. Fight it out, okay? Now come on, let's go.
Another warning for holding, no further point deduction. But Bruno can only hope really that he can somehow weather this opening blitz from the former undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yes, Bruno really needs to find a decent punch here. He's got to try and stop this attack from Tyson. As soon as they break loose, Tyson looks for the attack with a big right hand.
Again, Bruno momentarily turns up with a caught by 3, 4, 5 punch combination. Right uppercut starting in. Bruno's in desperate trouble. It's going to be stopped. It's over. Bruno's lost his title. And Iron Mike is champion all over again. 6 years after losing his title to Buster Douglas, Tyson is the champ. And Bruno's reign has finished. Cut, beaten, was the old Tyson.
The finish certainly was. We wondered if he could get it back. He certainly proved, as he finished Bruno there, that he could. Bruno just looked to turn southpaw for a second there, and then he got caught with a big left hook. So Tyson, he's thinking fast in there, and that was a very good finish.
Consoling words. They go back a long way, those two. Laura, Bruno's wife, is there, kissing him. She knows. They all know how much it meant to him. Look at Tyson. Now there's the compassionate side to him. You haven't often seen.
There is the compassionate side to Mike Tyson. But it was good to see that the fighting side of Tyson was back.
Well, it was a night of rejuvenation and rebirth for Tyson, Matt.
It was. He didn't have the jab, but what he had was the power and the speed, and you hear him there, we're back. He's now the champion.
Now, watch the finish again. Body, left hook, another one. This is a great cluster of punches.
And it was just a momentary thing. Bruno just changed stance for a second, turned to southpaw, and was caught with a big left hook, and then the finishing, that was the Tyson of old.
There were so many questions about Mike Tyson going into this fight. He's answered them. It was too much for Bruno. And his reign is over after 6.5 months. And you've got to say that this was an exciting performance by Tyson, who proved all the doubters and critics wrong.
Yes, and at one point there, it looked like the uppercut almost lifted Bruno off his feet. But a tremendous finish. All started with a good left hook from Tyson.
Well, Bruno took a lot of punches before he gave way. The cut in the first round was bad luck for him. Here it is again. How many punches are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these uppercuts, 5. Just like the first fight, those uppercuts to finish it. 6, 7, 8. The clubbing left hook, missed with the right. 8, 9, 10 was a grazing blow, and Mills Lane quite rightly stepped in. It's over. It's a sad end. But Tyson seems set for a new reign of terror over the heavyweight division, maybe.
It certainly looks that way with the finish and the power that he showed there. Remember, he was giving away 2 stone to Frank Bruno. Bruno never got in the fight. The speed, the power, and it's finally the finishing that did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the time of 50 seconds in round number 3, our referee in charge, Mills Lane, calls a halt to the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout, and he is back, ladies and gentlemen, the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
It's a moment of great fulfillment for Tyson. He's been quoted as saying things like, "My life has become a burden to me. I'm not just a happy guy." But maybe his life will take on some meaning again after that performance to recapture the WBC heavyweight title. And now the plan is for him to go on and reunify the title. Let's hear it.
I'm my own worst critic. Praise be to Allah. This title is for my dear mentor, Customado, my children, Mikey, Gina, Raina. Praise be to Allah.
And you said you could keep on going. When I came up, you said I could have done some more. Were you having that much fun? Let's take a look at the monitor. This is a finish, Mike. Now, it's super slow. You talk.
As you see, I'm just throwing punches because he's holding a lot, so I'm just throwing, forcing to the win. My objective is to throw at all times, just to throw punches, bring him down with a Henry Armstrong effect, so to speak. Boom, that hurt him. He's out right now. And I'm trying to catch him again. Don't stop. But I missed him. Don't stop. And they don't know. Keep coming. Boom, there you go. And there's another one.
The best ever. The best ever. The best ever. Well, champ, that's what they call finishing in boxing. You are one of the great finishers in boxing.
Well, I'm doing well. I'm constantly improving. I like to say one thing to all my people in RYC, everyone, the Islamic service, vice lords, folks, the regiments, all the people that was good to me, Mr. Slavin, Mr. Finster. God praise be to everybody.
All right.
Allahu Akbar.
Champ, one last question. Bruce Seldon, is he next?
Whoever's next.
Bruce, you want Bruce or anybody?
I'll fight anybody Don King put in front of me, and I still have more to do and have more improvement to do. I wouldn't lose my bet.
Well, champ, from one guy to the other, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's go.
What was your game plan? It seemed as though you were content to hold on and not really have any offensive plan.
I was trying to sort of like slow him down, use my weight against him, but he was a fast guy, very fast guy. I couldn't take nothing away from him.
Was he better now than when you fought him 7 years ago?
I wouldn't go so far to say he's about the same.
The cut over your eye, did it affect your performance?
A little bit. It worried me, yeah, first round.
What are your plans now, Frank?
I'm not too sure. I've got to have 24 hours or 48 hours to sit down with my family, my wife, my beautiful kids, and suss it out.
You have been described as a guy who's like a toothache. You just keep coming back and coming back. Will you come back from this, or are you satisfied now that you won your championship after so many tries?
I've got to wait and see. I couldn't want to make no commitments, you know. I'll go home and sit down with my family and take it from there. I'm just disappointed that the English fans that came over here and the American fans want me to do a good job, but I'll try my best.
Frank, your assessment of Mike Tyson, how did you feel he did tonight?
He done pretty well, you know. He beat me, so he must have done good, you know.
Better than you thought?
A little bit more better than I thought. It's a rough game out there.
Frank, congratulations. You've been a good champion.
He may have been a good champion, but not a long-lasting champion. The reign of Bruno is over after 196 days. And Frank Bruno has to take second best to Mike Tyson as Tyson turns the clock back. And who's to say that Tyson is not now about to go and complete the job he started so spectacularly in the late 80s, and that is clean up in the heavyweight division. What moments of joy for him, what moments of release. America was asking big questions about the talents of Tyson, and Tyson really could not have answered them in a more emphatic manner than he has done in the ring at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas tonight. Relief mixed with elation at a job well done. And for Bruno now, a moment to pause and reflect on opportunities squandered and the possibility, surely, of a retirement at this stage after great achievements for Bruno also. Just a reminder that Quincy Taylor, the WBC World Middleweight Champion, will be bringing you his fight in just a moment or two. But there's Ian with Frank Bruno.
Frank, very, very hard luck. Just give us your thoughts on what happened there.
He was a good fighter. I couldn't take nothing away from him. I feel disappointed for all the fans that came over me. 7,000. I wanted to fly the flag for England, and I wanted to do much more better than I really did, but they beat me fair and square, Mr. Dark.
But you couldn't have tried any hard, done any more than that. I mean, Tyson was just like the old Tyson, wasn't he? Like a thug. He was right on you.
He was right on me like a harbour shark, you know. That's the one. I'm not going to make no excuses or nothing. Beat me fair and square. The cut didn't help in the first. Lost the confidence and all them sort of like different things. But at the end of the day, that's how it goes. I'm sorry, disappointed to all the people waiting up late at night, come and support me. But I tried for England, I tried for my family, I tried for myself, and I couldn't do no more than that. I'm sorry. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I don't think you have to be sorry, Frank, because you've given Britain some pretty glorious moments.
Yeah.
I mean, what were your thoughts? Was the cut caused by a clash of heads, or was it a right hand?
I don't want to make no excuses. The cut was a cut. I don't want to start saying it was this or that. You know what I mean? He beat me fair and square. That was it, Mr. Dark.
Did he surprise you that he was that good?
I knew I fought him before, I sparred with him, so I know how good he was, you know. But he beat me fair and square. No excuses. I'm just disappointed for the British fans who stayed up late at night, paid their £10, come over here and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you know, I tried my best and I can't do no more than that.
What will you do now, Frank? I mean, people will say, well, is that the end of the Bruno story or what?
Mr. Dark, I don't want to make no decisions at this moment. I've got to chill out, go and spend some time with my family. I've been away for 9 weeks, training in Tenerife, doing so many different things. I feel just disappointed in myself, but at the end of the day, I've got to sit down and contemplate what I want to do, Mr. Dark.
You say you're disappointed. What do you think you did wrong?
I'm not too sure. It's difficult. When you fight a guy like Mike Tyson, he's on to you like a harbour shot. Don't give you time to use your jab or nothing like that, and the cut didn't really help. That's not an excuse, you know, but at the end of the day, beat me fair and square. I don't make no excuses. Jules tried with me. My brother came and tried, Rupert, Doris, everybody, the training camp in Tenerife at Nigel, the global people. You know what I mean? All the people what I've been associated with is wicked. Very, very nice, but I'm sorry I disappointed you staying up late at night. Nigel Bever coming over from his holiday, Frank Warren for sticking behind me, and I just need 24 hours, 48 hours to sit down.
You have as long as you like, though, right?
Yeah.
Have a think about it. Have you got just one last message for the fans who'll be watching back at home, Frank? Because don't say you let people down because you didn't.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, I was a world champion. I was proud to be world champion. I wish I could have beat Mike Tyson because he would look good on my CV, as I said to President Clinton. But that's the way it goes sometimes, Mr. Dar. I've had a good time in my life, and at the moment I want to sort of like just sit down. I don't want to make no haste decisions and make a fool of myself, you know? Just want to chill out, Mr. Dark.
Go and have a chill out.
Thank you very much.
Let's have a quick word with George Francis. George, just give us your thoughts there. I mean, what did you think of Frank's performance? Were you unhappy with that? He seemed unhappy.
I wasn't unhappy, but he's fighting a shorter guy that's very fast, and Frank never got into it like he normally does. You know, he tried his best. He got a cut, that didn't help, and the fellow was just got underneath and got in close to him, and that was it, you know? Just one of those things.
We heard you kind of reading the riot act to him between the rounds there. You were saying, come on, you're a bit slow, Frank. I mean, you were just trying to G him up. If only he could have kept Tyson on the end of that jab a bit more.
That was the plan. That was what we hoped to do. You know, box, 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 come in close, tie him up, get him off and box again, you know?
All right, thanks a lot, George. Here's Frank Warren. Quick question to Frank Warren. What do you think Bruno should do from here, or is it too soon to make decisions?
I think it's too soon. He's got plenty of time to make up his mind what he wants to do. Whatever he wants to do, like always, we'll be behind him. Whatever he wants, whether he wants to retire, carry on. He's got all the time in the world to think about that.
Okay, thanks a lot, Frank.
I think the next 24 hours could be pretty difficult ones for Frank Bruno as he comes to terms with the events unfolding here tonight. Also for the thousands of supporters who've made the journey out to the United States to try to cheer Bruno on. More reaction when we come back, and also in the ring there we'll see Quincy Taylor, the WBC World Middleweight Champion. Wasn't very good for the Bruno contingent. No fairy tale ending, far from home, and yet again a British World Heavyweight title contender comes unstuck in the United States. Barry McGuigan, Duke McKenzie and Gary Mason are all a little awestruck by the performance of Tyson. Would that be fair, Barry?
I think, quite honestly, you know, the hysteria beforehand, we all got caught up on it. We all wanted Bruno to do well. We all wanted him to win. We all thought he could win. But how dare we question Tyson's ability, and how dare we question his greatness? He showed us there that he's just awesome. He's just as awesome as he was 7 years ago. And he looked even better. And we thought that Bruno stone and a half would be an advantage. In fact, it was the stone and a half slower. And Tyson was every bit as quick as his awesome best days. And he just ripped him to pieces with those short hooks and combinations.
Duke.
Well, at least he went out on his shield. That's one way of looking at it. I mean, it's not like he went out there and laid down. He didn't. He went out there with a game plan, but unfortunately, after the first bell went, the game plan seemed to go out the window.
After the first right hand?
Sorry, after the first right hand went, everything went out the window. And losing a point as early as he did in the round does nothing for your confidence, and you just hear everything, and everything was going in.
Gary Mason.
I think Frank went in there possibly too confident and unaware of the Mike Tyson he'd faced before. So when Tyson came out at him with the ferocity and just started throwing blows left, right and centre, it was a bit difficult for Frank to actually change gear.
The first right hand in the first round, that really was the beginning of the end. That was within 10 seconds of the first bell.
Was this the cut here, Barry?
This looks like the cut at the end of round 1-2. It was a short, straight right hand. And Tyson, again, was just jumping on top of him again. You know, Tyson just never let him settle, and he never got into his game plan. He did try and use that jab, but what he done was he picked it up very quickly in the second round again. Tyson just jumped on him again. The left hook here is a ferocious punch. He slips inside Bruno's left jab, and watch him coming back up with that double. It was a double left hook, but the second left hook on its own was just ferocious. He's so quick and so awesome up close. And this is the right hand again in round 2. And look at Bruno's legs going again. you know. What can you say about this man? Ferocious.
In fighting for heavyweights.
In fighting, his speed up close is just phenomenal. And you know, we would have thought that over the period of time that the rest, and he didn't look particularly good in the comeback fights, but we did say that it was difficult to assess him against a fellow who crowded him like that and rushed in on top of him. And Buster Mathis, if he had nothing, well, he was fast. But this is the finish, and when this guy gets you in trouble, he just doesn't let you off the hook. And look at the way he has Bruno. Bruno desperately tried to hold on here, but it just was no holding this guy off. And he's a chilling finishing puncher. And again, Mills Lane's promised that he wouldn't let Bruno get hurt, and he didn't. He was as good as his word. He jumped in there and stopped it. But terribly sad and terribly disappointing for Bruno and for all his fans. Really sad. Again, we have a look at the finish here. That's that right hook to the body, left hook to the head, left hook again. Look at how quick those hands are. Pulling the head up, and actually snaps Bruno's head up again with this shot. And you know, Bruno was out on his feet there, and Mills Lane again jumped in very quickly and just prevented him from being knocked through the ropes. But frightening finish.
Had Bruno started differently, Duke, do you think he could have made things happen slightly differently?
The truth is, Paul, he couldn't have started any different. You know, like you say, he went out with that game plan, but Tyson was just too quick and too powerful again. And I mean, I hate to admit it, but he really does look like to be the ferocious Mike Tyson of old. If anything, he looks better. Looks like the rest has done him good.
Well, this is the point. You know, you're not going back to perhaps even to the Tyson who fought Bruno first time round, to the late days. You're going back to the late 1980s when he was unifying the division.
So much more controlled now. You know, mentally, obviously, the time that he's had away is that he's done a lot of growing up. And I mean, when I looked in his eyes earlier on, there didn't seem to be any fear. He just knew that he was going to win. And there he's actually, that's how they pray, you know, with the Muslim people when they're praying to Allah. He's probably saying, like, you know, thanking his own God there, really. It's just pretty phenomenal.
What do you think Frank Bruno should do now, Gary?
Well, it didn't sound like he was somebody that wanted to retire to me. And he's doing right, he's taking a break. But he could have done that differently. If he'd have gone out there and attacked Tyson in the same way that Tyson attacked him, anything would have been possible. He would have given himself the chance there. Frank has never been British champion. We have a new British heavyweight champion in Scott Walsh. If Frank decides to continue, that is something that a lot of people would like to see. So there's something for him to do if he wants to do other things.
We know Frank Bruno's in love with boxing, but is this not the perfect moment for him to call it a day?
Well, I wouldn't have thought he could. I wouldn't have thought he could rise to a fight like Scott Welch first and foremost. After fighting somebody like, you know, he's fought the Tysons of the world, the Oliver McCalls, and you know the Lennox Lewises. Those names are like the really big names. And for Frank to fight somebody like Scott Welch it would not, no disrespect to Scotch, but that would like demean Frank really, because it's a step down, it's not a step up. You know, obviously.
The British title can't be a step down.
No, I'm just saying.
When
you go from fighting to like from world class, and then you find yourself having to fight for a British title, I'm not saying it's a step down, guys.
I understand exactly
I'm simply saying, like mentally, it's very hard to get up for.
It would be. It wouldn't be the same size of an event. It wouldn't have the same stimulation for him, and he just wouldn't be able to get himself up. I really think the guy. You know, he's got nowhere else to go. He should retire and he should pack it up. He's done himself proud. He's done Britain proud.
Had a conversation before.
I agree with that. But I'm just saying, where else is he going to go? What else can he do? What else
British
can he achieve?
heavyweight title is something that he's never had.
Yeah,
but
to get,
he'd be proud to hold.
To get beat by a lesser opponent than Mike Tyson would destroy him mentally, and obviously destroy his credibility within the British public. You know.
What about Tyson now? Obviously, step one is complete. Tyson's got a version of the world heavyweight title back again. They want to try and make Tyson reunify the division. Now, interestingly enough, sooner or later he's going to have to defend his WBC title. And the way things stand right now, the first man could be Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, well, you know, Jose Sulaiman can do amazing things, as he's proved in the past, and Lennox Lewis should have the first crack at the winner. However, you might even see Tyson giving up the title because he wants to fight and unify the title, and even if it means giving the title up and getting straight through. But Bruce Seldon could prove a very difficult opponent. He's the WBA champion, and he's the sort of fighter like Buster Douglas that could cause problems for Tyson. But I think that's the next and most positive step for him. And you know, obviously we'd all love to see him fight Lewis because Lewis is a great fighter. But I don't know whether that's going to happen.
Watch this space for more. One other big event in Las Vegas tonight, the WBC World Middleweight Champion Quincy Taylor. Story, Gary Mason, before the question. The last time that Bruno fought Tyson, I can tell you for a fact that 5 days after that fight, Bruno was back in training, because I saw him.
Yeah.
Now, do you seriously tell me that Bruno, all these years later, is going to go on the same way again?
Did you see anything there to make you believe that he would not?
You think he will continue?
Yeah, I saw. He said or indicated nothing to make me see any difference to any other of his previous losses. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I really wouldn't.
Duke?
I personally think that Frank's done his bit for British boxing, and he's got nothing more to prove. You know, now's the time for him to bow out. You know, he's won the championship of the world, which is what he wanted to do. You know, and he can go out on his shield.
Barry?
I agree entirely with Duke. I think there's not a more appropriate time to retire than there is now. He's done all he can do. He's achieved what he wanted to achieve. He climbed the mountain, he got up there. His reign was short, but he was beaten by a superb fighter that will be remembered in 150 years as probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
And how good a man is it going to take to deal with Tyson this time around?
Well, that's the question. I mean, is there anybody out there that can hold off someone as ferocious? Told us he was ferocious. We questioned that. He proved it to us emphatically, and I don't know whether there's anybody out there right now in the heavyweight division. We even said that 85% of the former Tyson of his former years would be enough to beat the current crop of heavyweights. He showed us tonight that he's awesome. He's maybe 95% of the fighter that he used to be, and you know, I can't wait to see this series of unification fights. But for Frank Bruno, I think Frank should pack it in now.
All right, thanks very much to Gary Mason, to Duke McKenzie, and to Barry. Long night, but an action-packed one. I hope very much you've been able to enjoy it all with us. Thank you very much for your company. The big time can be a painful place, and the truth can be awesome when it's revealed in the way that Mike Tyson revealed it tonight. But we leave Las Vegas with a host of memories from the team. Bye for now.
It's my time, it's Bruno's time, Tyson had his time.
Tyson's gonna win it, man.
I think Bruno will take him in 5.
Tyson, easy like Sunday morning, man.
Frank Bruno, never heard of him.
See you in Vegas. Bruno.
Come in with the belt and I'm leaving with my belt. Thank you very much and God bless you all.